Where security has been beefed up. Also coming up, 14-year-old girl left bleeding after being defiled by 3 men, but her family says police investigators are advising an out-of-court settlement.
I was later told the young men have been released and the police are insisting we do an out-of-court settlement. But this, I disagree.
We'll bring you details of the story from Agona Ahanta in the Western region as the victim reveals she was defiled continuously for 3 days. And in
over-dependence on foreign-based players is a lazy approach to building a Black Stars team. That's according to Technical Director of Interlight Football Club, Willie Kluche.
And later, we shine a light on rapper Ratty Ghana, who aspires to become one of Africa's best, using his lyrical power and humor to tell stories through music.
Intro, the name began for Beres. I want to be considered as one of the best, if not the best, in Africa. Psalm 147 verse 3.
All of that and more coming up here in the midday news with me, Gifty Andoh-Appiah. Let's settle for the details now. Minority MPs are demanding a closure of Parliament for at least 2 weeks as it emerges 15 people, including MPs, have tested positive for COVID-19. Director of Public Affairs, Gifty Andoh, told a news conference yesterday that Parliament has yet to receive confirmation of a positive test.
I want to tell all of us that the tests were done and the results were going to be, or are going to be, confidential. The protocol is that if you are testing, if you test positive, you will receive a phone call from the National Response Team, and the team will inform you of your status, and then you follow the necessary arrangements for quarantining and then for access to medication. We haven't received any information that any member of Parliament or any staff has got any such call. Therefore, it is putting matters ahead of their schedule.
So that's Gifty Andoh there yesterday. Today, Minority Chief Whip Mubarak Mutaka told Daniel Dazi on the Joy Prime Morning Show that the status of each of the 2 MPs and 13 parliamentary service staff had been communicated to them.
Serve the national interest. Just don't do it. I can bet and tell you that was a lie. It's a big lie.
Said by the majority leader and the head of public affairs of Parliament.
That's why I told you that I really wish I didn't have the opportunity to answer this or to be asked this question. What happened in Parliament and what you've heard that was being said is the fact, is the truth. What happened? The understanding was that not all MPs and staff have tested. Okay. So are we going to create this panic so that the few that are left to test will not go forward to test? Or we are going to find a way of getting everybody that will know the scope of our challenge and how to deal with it? Perfectly, I agree with that. But once the information goes out, if you ask me, how will I have communicated or responded to that?
That's the Minority Chief Whip. For the mass testing of MPs and parliamentary service staff was a directive by the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Quay. NDC MP for Adaklu, Kwame Agboja, says Parliament should close down for at least 2 weeks in the light of this revelation.
Well, first of all, as a country, we are all worried that we have over 7,000 of our compatriots confirmed to have COVID-19. The news of confirmation that 2 or 3 colleagues, in addition to other staff, have COVID shouldn't be taken as a surprise. Parliament is a house of the people, so a lot of the public, we interact with the public. I was in my constituency the whole of last week. I returned only part of Sunday. So we are not a group of people who are in a cocoon somewhere that can be protected that way. So news of only 2 members, for me, is no news. It's not a killer disease, though we all have to play our roles, follow the protocols to minimize the potential of catching COVID. So I'm not too surprised that we've been calling. I was one of those people who have been calling for this to be done all along, and I think it's It's better we know so that those people can get the maximum help, and then they can separate themselves from the rest of the people who are not yet positive.
Is it about time Parliament closed down, at least for the next 2 weeks, so everyone in there can self-isolate? At least 15 people have recorded cases from what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, it's terrible. 15 people in this environment. You know, we all go through the
crowded
in the same corridor.
25.
It's not going to be easy. People touching the walls. I haven't seen anybody cleaning handrails regularly in this house. I haven't seen anybody cleaning door knobs or anything. So yourselves included, you are at risk. You may take the necessary protocols as much as possible. To close down Parliament, the government made us aware that we must do a sacrificial job for the nation, because some decisions have to be taken even in the era of COVID. So I'll leave that decision to leadership and the government. If they say we made that call long ago as a minority and the government ignored it. If it's getting worse, maybe we have to revisit that proposal.
Well, let's go to Parliament. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo is our correspondent. He's standing by to give us more. Joseph, now, this matter has been discussed on the floor of Parliament today. Tell us more about this discussion. Hello, Joseph?
Hear me?
Right, Joseph, I do hear you. Reposition and tell us how the discussion went on the floor of Parliament today. Okay, looks like Joseph is having a difficulty hearing me, but let's listen to a member of Parliament, Ras Mubarak, who is a member of the minority, on the demands being made for Parliament to shut down for at least a couple of weeks.
If you look at today's order paper, for instance, presentation of papers.
Nothing COVID-19 related.
Nothing COVID-19 related. You know, you've got a education regulatory bill 2019. So that's just about it.
And so for you, all of this can wait for at least 2 weeks when
all of this can wait for about 2 weeks. You know, the visa waivers. I mean, the committee could be dealing with it whilst the House is on break. You know, I mean, just take a look at the order paper for today. I don't see anything that is of urgent nature to warrant members of Parliament to continue to expose themselves to the dangers of coming into contact with persons who may have COVID-19.
Ras Mubarak there speaking to Joseph Opoku-Gakpo. Unfortunately, he's unable to give us more details, but we'll bring that in our other bulletins. Now, let's move on to the IPAC meeting that happened today. There is heavy security presence at the Electoral Commission, where an inter-party advisory committee meeting is currently underway. Over 60 armed policemen have been stationed at all entry and exit points. Today's meeting is to brief political parties on the Commission's preparation towards the compilation of the new electoral roll. Meanwhile, the NDC has boycotted today's meeting. My colleague, Kwesi Parker-Wilson, is there and joins me with more. Hello, Parker. Parker will join us with more details. But Parker has also been speaking to Senior Research Fellow at IDEC, Mr. Sam Jonah. This is what he says.
The EC should not only, their plan is to announce the dates and the modalities for the conduct of the registration. I think they should leave room for the expression of parties' opinions.
But the parties have already done that already in the past, like a month or two. They've consistently made their views known to the Electoral Commission.
Yes.
But they claim that the Electoral Commission is being intransigent with positions.
Yes. I believe very strongly that at the time that they were making those positions, we didn't have a very serious COVID-19 situation. Today, we have a COVID-19 situation which has even affected the EC's own calendar. And so I believe that this is the time to impress upon the EC that the context has changed. Let us talk again.
Actually, so talk again about the compilation of the new register. Is that what you mean?
Yes, that's the issue. Let us talk again. The EC said 18th April to 1st May, I'll do my register. It's gone.
Right.
The time is gone. And you have less time to do all the other processes. This is the time to talk and find a way out.
So that's Kwesi Jonah. He's a Senior Research Fellow at IDEC there, speaking to my colleague Kwesi Parker-Wilson, who now joins me from the Electoral Commission headquarters. Parker, so heavy security at both entry and exit points at the Commission. What's the situation there currently?
Right, so Gifty, the police just a while ago calling for reinforcement. We don't know why the police did that. In fact, ACP Kesifori, who is leading the team to provide security for the Electoral Commission today, has failed to speak to the media. I attempted to get some information reaction from him, but he told me actually that he wasn't going to comment on this matter. They are only here just to provide security. So, as for the situation, heavy security present here at the Electoral Commission. But let me also say that the first batch of the meeting is still underway. We know that political parties like the NPP, the CPP are all present in this meeting. And Gifty, I'm sure you are aware that the NDC has boycotted this meeting, citing numerous reasons why they don't want to be part of today's meeting, basically because of the arrangement put in place by the Electoral Commission. And just a while ago, PNC also staged a walkout from this meeting, citing the same reasons that the NDC cited about the arrangement, because the Electoral Commission decided to organize this meeting in 2 different times, where it's meeting the NPP and other political parties in the morning between now and 1 p.m. and later between 2 to 4 p.m. meeting different sector political parties. So the NDC and PNC says that that is not the way to go. So this is the situation here at the Electoral Commission, Gifty.
So as we speak, is the first meeting over?
No, the first meeting is not over. My source in the meeting tells me that the Electoral Commission is still updating the political parties who are there on their preparation towards the conduct of the registration exercise, the mass registration exercise, and that by 1 p.m. they are expected to finish the meeting. And when they are done, of course, they will update and brief the media on what happened or transpired in the meeting today.
We do know that the NPP did not boycott this meeting. They're meant to be a part of it. Have you seen any of them there? Have you spoken to them? What do they say?
So in the meeting, the General Secretary of the party, John Bodo, is representing the NPP in this today's meeting, actually. Evans Nimako was also in the meeting, but stepped out a while ago now. Before he entered as the Director of Election for the NPP, I spoke to him about his expectation. And for him, the party is still convinced that compiling a new register is the way to go. They know that the Electoral Commission has put in place great measures to mitigate the spread of COVID-19. So for them, they're ever ready training their people for the mass registration. So they wouldn't be surprised that they'll come out of the meeting with the mindset that the EC will finally say that they're going ahead with the compilation of the new register.
Okay. Parker, thank you very much for that update. Kwesi Parker Wilson there monitoring that IPAC meeting ongoing at the Electoral Commission. We'll bring you more in our other bulletins. Away from that, a 14-year-old girl has allegedly been defiled by 3 people, but her family says police investigators want them to settle the matter out of court. The victim, whose name has been withheld, says she was sexually assaulted for 3 days before being released to go home. Joy News' Henry Kwesi has been speaking to the family and has more in this report.
On the evening of May 19, 2020, 14-year-old Abba, not her real name, was sent out on an errand by her mother. Abba only came home 3 days later, bleeding profusely from her vagina. Abba says she had been defiled by 3 young men during those days. The Class 6 pupil was allegedly lured by the 3 men who gave her an energy drink laced with a substance that made her dizzy.
One of the perpetrators is a friend. He lured me to his house and gave me a bottle of energy drink. When I took it, I became extremely dizzy and woke up days after, bleeding profusely from my vagina. I didn't see or feel anything at all.
After returning home, Abba spent 4 days at the hospital. The Ahanta West police arrested the perpetrators. They have since been released, with the police insisting the case be settled out of court, the family claims. Abba's father, Richard Kwaku, disagrees.
My daughter was raped by 3 young men. After we reported the incident to the police, the boys were arrested as my daughter was also admitted for 5 days at a health facility in the community. I was later told the young men have been released and the police are insisting we do an out-of-court settlement. But this, I disagree.
Mr. Kweku wants the suspect prosecuted.
This was on my blind side. We want the law to take its full course. I suspect the families of the perpetrators have given the police some money.
The 14-year-old victim, who was discharged from hospital, is currently responding to treatment at home. Henry Kwesi-Bedu's report for Joy News.
And that is a report read to you by Fifi Kumse. Away from that, selling of babies is, as strange as it may sound, has found its way into a slum in the Kumasi metropolis. A notorious spot for this crime is the Asafu-Bibi community, where commercial sex work and other crimes are rife. Police in the Ashanti region are currently holding 3 key suspects who have confessed to attempting to buy a 3-month-old baby. Nana Yaljima has been following the story at the slum and has this report.
For prostitutes, business gone wrong is getting pregnant in line of service. Besides having to go off for a period, fending for the baby in the small shacks they live is hell. At least one commercial sex worker is serving a jail term for selling her baby. A colleague in the commercial sex business explains.
Selling of babies are common here, but we are unable to arrest any of them. So, after our sister was jailed for the crime, we decided to be vigilant. How do you buy a baby for 500
This woman I choose to call Adoma claims to be a nurse at a hospital in Obuasi, but checks at the hospital proves otherwise. According to her, she has been married for 10 years without a child and has been under pressure from her husband and his family to give them one. Adoma's only solace to save her marriage is to go hunting for a child in the slum.
She agreed with my employee to accept 4,000 cedis, which I found it too little for a human being. I refused the baby because he was too old for me. My marriage is on the brink of collapse for childlessness.
2 others had accompanied Adoma to the slum in search of a child. This is how they corroborated her story.
We rejected the baby they brought because he was older than we preferred. We were arrested just as we were about to leave. We indeed went there to buy a child. They directed us to go there because we hear they usually abandon their babies. We had tried orphanages, but we were refused.
I got one lady who agreed to help us get a baby. I promised to reward her financially if she is able to help. She promised to talk to a friend on my behalf, and she did. One woman I called Joan through a friend got wind of the search for a baby and offered her child for sale. She tells me she feigned interest and agreed to use her baby as a trap to expose the baby buying syndicate in the slum. An arrangement was made with the vigilante group for arrest of the prospective child buyers.
One of our own is serving 9 years in jail. So I saw this as an opportunity to expose the group. To cater for the child, I have a small business supporting the prostitution.
The 3 were subsequently arrested together with members of the vigilante group. Police says the group had withdrawn an unspecified amount of money from the victim's mobile money account after seizing her phone. Police have since taken statements from all parties and granted them bail. From Kumasi, for Joy News, Nana Yaljima reporting.
Let's go back to Parliament, where minority MPs are demanding a closure of the House. As it emerged, about 15 people, including MPs, have tested positive for COVID-19. That matter is being discussed on the floor. Joseph Opoku Gakpo is our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent. He joins me with more. Hello, Joseph. Joseph, if you do hear me, give us an update of this discussion as it's been had on the floor of Parliament. Okay, I'm having a difficulty hearing Joseph there. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM, also live in Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM. We're around the world at myjoyonline.com, also in London on ABN Radio. We're going to take a very quick break. Stories down so far. Minority MPs demand shutdown of Parliament for 2 weeks as 15 people, including 2 MPs, reportedly test positive for COVID-19. Still to come, we'll be shining the light on rapper Ratigana, who aspires to become one of Africa's best, using his lyrical power and humor to tell stories through music.
The name be Ghana for Beres. I want to be considered as one of the best, if not the best, in Africa. Psalm 147 verse 3.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
You're welcome back to the Midday News with me, Gifty Andoh-Appiah. Enhanced Mensa Andoh is here with sports.
A lumping of foreign-based players is the cheapest way of coaching the Black Stars. This is according to the technical director of Interlice Football Club and 1978 AFCON winner Willie Kluche.
The easiest way of coaching the Black Stars is to go for the foreign-based players because they will come 2 weeks. What are you going to teach them? Some even come and they ask the players, how do they use you in your club? So that is the easiest way for the coach to assemble the players. For instance, you come, what position do you play? I play number 2. How do you play? Okay, then play it like that. What do you play? I play number 9. How do you play it? Then play it like that. That is the cheapest way of coaching. So it's not a local player who he has to teach him something. For him to go and play a system. I talked about system. For him to get something out of the system. But he's parading players who think they are even better than the coach. And some of them have insulted our coaches. That you is not because I'm coming to play for the Black Stars. You coach me.
And the Premier League has today announced that their shareholders have voted unanimously to resume contact training, marking another step towards restarting the season. That's your sports.
Thank you, Hans Mensa Andoh, with the sports. Now, let's move on with some other stories. So earlier this morning, there was a discussion. A landlord has no right to forcibly evict a tenant even after the expiry of the tenancy agreement. The homeowner will have to head to court for an order. Those are some of the highlights of today's edition of the Super Morning Show. We can listen to Managing Partner at Hay and Partners at Law, Ms. Hanifa Yaya.
The law states that at the end of your tenancy, as I already said, you should hand over. However, so in all instances, communication between the parties is key. So if you're unable to leave by the end of your term, you should be able to have a conversation with your landlord to say that I am not renewing. I will be moving out at the end of my term. However, my next place of abode is not ready for one reason or the other. Can you give me 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months for me to get ready and then move out?
And if the landlord refuses?
If the landlord refuses, then you then become a statutory tenant. And therefore, the landlord cannot forcibly evict you. The landlord will then have his remedies in the court. Under no circumstance can a landlord or is a landlord allowed to forcibly evict a tenant or to make the tenants uncomfortable so as to leave. So you cannot take out the electricity, you can't stop water, you can't block the tenants from using bathroom or toilet facilities. You cannot antagonize the tenant in any way. All you need to do is to go to court or the rent magistrate to say that the tenant's rent has expired, he's still in my premises, I need to evict him.
So you had the managing partner, Hay and Partners at Law, Ms. Hanifa Yaya, on what you ought to do if you are a landlord. You can't just evict. I'm smiling because Becky is here with entertainment.
Gifty Andoh-Appiah. Well, let me tell you what's happening in the world of entertainment. Since bursting onto the music scene a decade ago, he has used his lyrical power to tell stories cutting across various sectors of the economy. Though he has not gained the kind of recognition he deserves, Ratty Ghana says he looks to becoming one of the best in Africa. He is on Spotlight today.
All right.
Ratty Ghana, a rapper.
He calls himself a social commentator, combining great storytelling and lyrical power to devastating effect. No matter the subjects, politics, love, religion, name it, the rapper is able to create something music lovers jam to.
The name began for Beres. My strength is on hip hop, and as a social commentator, I channel my lyrics to social issues that can be easily related.
Ratty Ghana, born Bernard Opokwajiman, believes his craft is unique, and an added layer of humor distinguishes him from his peers.
It has been ups and downs, but since each and every day there is progress, I'll classify it as a fair treatment.
For more than a decade, he has been at it, challenging himself each passing day to be a better rap artist with a dream to conquer Africa.
I want to be considered as one of the best, if not the best in Africa.
The former music reality TV show Vodafone Icons participant is not afraid to take a go at industry colleagues in a lyrical contest, what we better know as beef.
Yeah, beef is part of the game and it's good for the culture because it creates platform for MCs to prove their lyrical dexterity. The only problem is the emotional part, but I think with time people will understand the rules of the game.
We remember in 2019, rapper Medical, after posting a photo of himself, captioned it, 4 years ago, I saved Ghanaian rap music from dying, and I promised to keep it alive. This generated a stir on social media with many industry people having a bite. Listen to what Ratty Ghana did. March this year, he dropped one, Beyond the Beef. He also jumped into a trending Paul Bearer group that became a social media sensation during the lockdown period to drop this one. At a time the coronavirus is biting hard and grinding nearly all sectors of the economy to a halt, Ratty Ghana is hopeful life will return to normal soon.
This beat is very familiar to the old and young.
Yeah. So you were jamming.
It used to be something we played with. All right, so Becky, let me tell you what's trending on social media, especially on Twitter.
Hashtag justice for George Floyd. Yes,
it's trending. And then there's hashtag Black Lives Matter. Yeah. And then there's I Can't Breathe. Justice for Floyd also.
Some of the comments have been coming in. Manifest says that the persistent brutality of it all is just jarring. Reigns and repeat. R.I.P. George Floyd.
And this essentially has to do with another fatal police brutality in the United States of America, and everybody is talking about it. Racism at its best. Becky. Yes. It's good to have you. And that's it for the bulletin. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Our top story this hour: minority MPs demand shutdown of Parliament for 2 weeks as it emerges 15 people, including 2 MPs, test positive for COVID-19. I am Gifty Andoh-Appiah. Many thanks for your time. Join Pastor Mensa Otabel this afternoon.
When you want it, just move on it.